Hi, I'm Natalie. I'm 29, and this is the story that shattered everything I thought I knew about love, loyalty, and family. I used to think of myself as the good daughter, the one who always picked up the phone, the one who sent flowers on birthdays, dropped by on weekends, and never stopped worrying about her mom. Maybe that's why it hit me so hard when she called me at 2 a.m. one winter night, sobbing. Natalie. He hit me. My blood froze. She didn't even have to say his name. I knew who she meant. Steve, her second husband. My stepfather for the past 10 years. The guy who always brought too much wine to Thanksgiving, who called me kiddo, who helped me fix my brakes that one summer. He'd always seemed decent. But now, that version of him disintegrated in a second. I'm scared, she whispered. He's getting worse. I think he's going to kill me. I told her to pack a bag. I picked her up that same night and took her back to my apartment. She was shaking, clinging to me like a child. What she described over the next few days. The verbal abuse, the isolation, the threats, made my stomach twist. I'd studied psychology. I knew the signs. I didn't question her. Why would I? She was my mother. We filed a restraining order. I went with her to meetings with legal aid. I even helped gather messages from Steve's phone and printed out evidence, bruises on her arms, voicemails that sounded threatening, financial documents. I did it all because I wanted to protect her. And because, deep down, I needed to believe I was doing the right thing. When the trial came, I sat in the front row. Steve looked so small in that courtroom. Lost his lawyer, barely said a word. The judge ruled swiftly. Domestic abuse, fraud, coercion, guilty. He was sentenced to 6 years. For a while, life felt normal again. Peaceful, even. She stayed with me another 6 months, then got a condo nearby, started dating again. I felt like I'd done something good. Like maybe all that pain had led to justice. I was cleaning out a box of old books from Mom's storage unit. Some had been used, leftovers she didn't want. I flipped through one of them, and a folded piece of paper fell out. It wasn't just paper. It was a journal page. In his handwriting. Titled, What Really Happened. I almost tossed it. But curiosity won, and what I read made my heart drop straight into my stomach. It wasn't rage. It wasn't denial. It was sorrow and detail. He wrote about how he'd discovered Mom was secretly draining their joint account, how she threatened to ruin him if he didn't sign over property, how the bruisers weren't from him, but from a fall she stayed. He wrote about how she used burner phones to send herself messages, how she asked me to help her gather proof knowing I'd trust her without question. I didn't believe it. Couldn't? I thought anyone can write anything when they're bitter and behind bars. But then, I found more entries, receipts, photos, dates, and most damning of all, a USB drive taped inside the back cover. I plugged it in. That's where everything broke. The USB drive was old, scratched, labeled only with a small sticker that read, For Natalie. One day, I hesitated before opening the file. But some part of me already knew. This wasn't going to be fake. Not paranoia. Not revenge. This was going to be the truth. There were 4 folders labeled photos, audio, emails, journal. I started with photos, screenshots of text messages, the same ones I'd printed out and handed to the police. Except, these weren't the cropped versions I'd seen. These were full threads, and they told a very different story. Don't make me turn Natalie against you. You know she worships me. Another message. Keep pushing and I swear I'll drag your name through the mud. You'll lose everything, and no one will believe you. I clicked audio next. A voice memo from their bedroom. Muffled but clear. Her voice, sharp and calculating. You think I can't destroy you? I raised a daughter who thinks I walk on water. Watch me, Steve replied, voice shaking. Please, Anne, stop. Let's just talk. I paused the recording. I wanted to cry, to scream, to deny it all, but I couldn't. I opened the journal folder. It was filled with dated entries. Steve had been documenting everything. Meetings with lawyers, photos he took secretly when she raged at him. One note read, If you're reading this, Natalie, please believe me. I didn't hurt your mom. I loved her, but I was a fool. And I paid for it. He wasn't perfect, but he wasn't a monster either. The final folder, emails, had copies of messages she'd sent to my old account, from fake addresses. The anonymous tips that I had used in court. I sat back in my chair, nauseous. I'd helped put an innocent man behind bars. And worse, I'd done it proudly. The next day, I didn't call her. I couldn't. Instead, I called a lawyer. Not mine. His. I asked to speak to someone on Steve's team. I told them I had new information. I wanted to submit it, anonymously. They were stunned, cautious, but they took everything. The drive, the notes, even my affidavit. I never heard back from them directly. But 6 months later, I read online that Steve's sentence had been overturned. He was released. He didn't return to our city, didn't try to contact me. I didn't blame him. As for my mother, she showed up at my apartment one day, banging on the door. Natalie, I know it was you. I didn't answer. Didn't even move. Just sat in the kitchen with the lights off. She pounded for nearly 10 minutes, then silence. New apartment, new job, new last name. I deleted all old accounts. I made peace with the fact that I'd never have a real family again. But I'd rather live alone and honest than surrounded by blood and lies. Sometimes people say, you're so strong. It must have taken courage to expose her. But the truth is, it wasn't strength. And if I've learned anything, it's this. The truth doesn't care who raised you. It doesn't care who gave you life. It only asks, will you face me or keep pretending? I chose to face it. And that's when my life truly began.